Good morning. Welcome to this Friday's edition of Frank and Candid. I am Tony Nias. It's glad to have you on board. Hope you're all set and ready for the weekend ahead. Always good to see Friday roll around. They kind of roll around pretty fast these days. Hope all is well. All right, let's see what's in the news. St. Kitts and Nevis has reaffirmed its standing as a leader in the global community by being the first independent territory in the Caribbean sub-region to achieve the World Health Organization's benchmark of having at least 40% of all countries' populations vaccinated against COVID-19 by the end of 2021. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws highlighted this development at the October 27th COVID-19 briefing by the National Emergency Operations Center. She presented statistics from the October 26 vaccination report that showed that 72.1% of the adult population and 8.2% of the target population of children between 12 and 17 years are fully vaccinated against the deadly COVID-19 virus. And despite the late start, tourism officials are expecting a bumper cruise itinerary for November and December as they officially kickstart the 2021-22 season. Notwithstanding concerns with competition from other destinations and the COVID-19 restrictions currently in place, the Ministry of Tourism, through the Minister Lindsey Grant, reported that there would be 78 cruise calls to St. Kitts between November and December. At least another 70 is expected for the period of January to March 2022. Addressing reporters at a briefing, Minister Grant made the announcement explaining that there is a push for a harmonized approach to cruising within the Caribbean region. According to Grant, there would be at least 18 cruise ships to grace the docks at Port Zante, making 27 calls during November, with the 16th and the 23rd of November being 3 ship days, while the 10th, the 17th, and the 19th would be 2 ship days. December will see the largest number of calls since last year, when there will be 51 calls to St. Kitts. All of this comes as the Ministry of Tourism and the National COVID-19 Task Force work on a phased reopening of the cruise sector in the Federation. Though the vessels are returning to the Federation, they are doing so at a reduced capacity due to the pandemic. That's according to Grant. He says they are sailing at 40 to 60% capacity. With the increasing number of vessels and calls to Port Zante, the Ministry of Tourism has approved 3 sets of tours around the islands, including the independent tour operators who could have or would have received online bookings and those that were booked on the cruise. The success by the ministry to kickstart the season on November 1st will come with the challenge of keeping the large number of tourists safe without them interacting with the locals. But the ministry is adamant that they can live up to that challenge and keep its record of not having any tourists or positive cases from cruise linked to this federation. That's certainly good news. Looking forward to, I know a lot of people looking forward to the cruise ships coming back, and we're talking about 27 scheduled to come in the month of November. Hope all those people are prepared to make a living somehow from that. All right? Okay. And that's a look at where we are in the news this morning, close to us. As I said, it is an open Friday. We had a short week this week in terms of the program. Well, not a short week for the program itself. I was out on Monday and Tuesday. We had some rebroadcasts. On Wednesday, we did come in and had some discussion. And then we had the PM's press conference yesterday. Hope you had a chance to listen to that. There was lots of information coming out of that, which could have been useful to you. So I hope you had a chance to listen to that. And so, any of that is on your mind, you feel free to talk about that, or any other thing that may be on your mind this morning. Since it is Friday, and we usually keep it as an open Friday for all. Alright, and let me just give you the numbers quickly. 465-2555 and 718-577-2916 is the US number, if that's more convenient for you. And talk to me about whatever your thoughts are on this really good looking Friday. Nice start to the weekend. Hope it stays that way for much of the weekend. On Wednesday we were discussing as we approach the Christmas season what it means to us, whether it was now purely commercial, or was it just about a tradition, or was it religious, was it cultural, and that's where our discussion was on Wednesday, which was the day that I was here. So we could raise that. Number of things, like I said, came out of the press conference yesterday. So if you were listening, you may want to raise some of that as well. Or you may have something completely different in mind that you feel like you never had a chance to talk about during the week. It could be something that we talked about in prior weeks. One of the discussions that keep popping up is to do with our community and its cleanliness, and see how we are faring with that. I saw that there's been some cleanup efforts in some areas, some of the areas that we talked about. So efforts are being made, and that's a good thing. But there's still some areas that are left untouched. So any of that you want to talk about, feel free. So with that, let's go to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Good morning, Mr. Naya.
Good morning. I am doing well today. And how are you?
I'm excellent. Thank God for another day.
Great.
Mr. Naya, I hear people talking about the peer, bad things about the peer, calling it white elephant and what patches the peer, what patches bill and all them kind of thing. I think people need to watch what they're saying, because anything to the peer, you're going to do the whole of think it. The peer going to bring in money to think it. They're finding all kind of thing with the peer. Oh, patches tell people never happen to the peer and all them kind of thing. You know, but people need to watch what they're saying. You know? And the next thing again, listening to some people. Mr. Grant opener, I think must be a boardwalk. I hear a caller saying, oh, in this pandemic time, Mr. Grant opened a Kentucky thing of boardwalk. I mean, if he opened that in this, and they still complain about people can't find a job and all them kind of thing. People can walk up there, people get something to do. You know? So I really don't know what people that be talking about pure politics in a years. Putting politics in that kind of thing. If Mr. Grant opened the place, kudos to him. Somebody get a job won't break up. So, you know?
Yeah.
So people are just watch what they just need to just watch what they're saying. They're calling the peer white elephant and all them kind of thing. If something wrong with the peer, it ain't Patty's fault. Patty ain't a contractor. Patty they give somebody the job to do. You know? So right now they say they're going to fix the peer. So kudos to them and welcome back the tourists and the cruise ship, and good looking out, Mr. Grant. Blessed love, and everybody have a safe day. And grateful people, I stick to the team unity government, because a lot of you who are waiting on all your business to get finished, this government help all you. And I don't be ungrateful. Do not bite the hand that feed all you. That's all I got to say. Mr. Nair, have a blessed day.
Okay.
Get sleep and remember that. Remember where you come from. I, Mr. Nair. Culture, good morning and manners.
All right. Thank you for your input. I agree with you. Any business expansion, whenever it occurs, is good. Good for jobs. We're going back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Tony.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, I want to thank God for this federation of Candid music. We love the country that we live into, we born into, and come up into. And thank God for this unity government. And thank God for Team Unity administration, where the young people them elect 2016 and 2020. I believe that the people have no choice what to do, what to do in 2020. Again, because this unity government is really serving the people of this federation very handsomely, tremendously, and doing what they can do under this COVID pandemic. And I want to commend the Honorable Prime Minister for his press conference yesterday. I think he answered all the questions then, and the press secretaries and the other ministers and Lindsay Plant and General Powell was there to answer the question. Once again, let me have no one man answering all the question. I know what the Prime Minister is doing, and that's what the unity is all about. To bring every man in the ministry to talk about the ministry and answer to the ministry. Bring the place them and answer to whatever them in the ministry. Not to answer all the questions because we know God. You understand? And that is a good for our Honorable Prime Minister. And I want to commend the Team Unity government again, working on behalf of the ordinary man and woman in the Federation. Brother Tony, you have a wonderful day. God bless the Federation of Candid music. God bless you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Nair.
Good morning.
Yes, listening to the Prime Minister press conference yesterday, and Mr. Brantley's own, I think, was earlier in the month. There's a question, and that question hasn't just come up just in those two press conferences. It's a question that seems to be coming up all the time, and it seems to be coming from the same person, right? Where they would ask the Prime Minister about, Mr. Brantley about funds, how much money Nevis has been getting, you know, and Mr. Brantley give his answer. Then they come in the Prime Minister's press conference. Oh well, it is being said, Mr. Brantley say, the Nevis are not getting the full share, or Nevis isn't getting how much money Nevis is getting. To me, the question is not a question, you know, to find information and to, you know, it seems to me like it's a question to create confusion between the two leaders, Mr. Brantley and Mr. Harris. You know, because when each one of them give the answer, right, the answer that they give is going to be announced, going to be asked in the next person's press conference. And when both of them answer, you could see instead of addressing this thing, you know, it's like they're responding to what the person who asked the question say the answer of the other person is. So I believe, you know, yesterday should have been the Prime Minister say what he had to say about the fund sharing, how it is he has been set up, you know, and I believe yesterday should be the last time both of them addressed the question from anybody. If there is a place where the people who are asking the question can go to find the information, I think they should point them to that area. And don't answer them questions again, because, you know, people say, oh yes, well, I think, and the people continue to know this. Okay, if you need to know, you're a reporter, you do research, so you go and research the information. Just point them to you where they can get the information thing, because to me, it's a question to create confusion, a wedge between the PM and the Premier. It's not a question for the reporter to just get information or the country to get get information. It's just to create. To me, I see it as a question to create confusion. I believe after that thing yesterday, any one of them who get that question again should point that the person into the area where they could get the information themselves and stop answering that question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Hello, good morning, happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you.
Yes, what we want to hear, but nothing about only come on and say ruminate. You don't say that yesterday, last week, you come with it again. We want to hear about geothermal, we want to hear about natural resources. How are we going to make it, right? Because you see people cannot pay the electricity good no more anymore. Because it's pandemic. Right? They need to bring that to the plate to us. Let us know what's going on. How are we going to get a cheaper electricity rate? We don't have cheap water rate, we read about cheap electricity rate. And other things what they could do, to help us. The windmill thing and all them deal. We want to know about how they could set up some, as I was listening to the program just now. And it's true, we got a lot of sunshine for the 12 months, nearly the 12 months of the year. So let the government them work on that. Let me get out this bypass thing about the Prime Minister. Everybody to hear the Prime Minister. And everybody bless the Prime Minister. But we need to know, we want things to go forward. And just not for themselves. When the person says something and it's true now. When they go with me these things, they were talking about the country. Nevis think it's Nevis. And it's true. When I meet these investors, it seems as the investors just for themselves and not for we. Like they just say crumbs from the table, and that is not right. Because we just say a bang we mouth for them 24/7. For them to, we get them a job, they ain't give us no job. And somebody saying, but we must be thankful. And for thankful, yes, but they got, I don't know what hurt me here, Mr. Nias, and people say, oh, you're ungrateful. Just seeing it to play now. It's a plain slate. They're moving higher than you. We just by the bottom, by the toe, like you just begin. You can't even crawl. You just barely scrabble on the ground. We want to hear what's going on, man. We want to hear natural what they're going to do for the country and help us. Like how we help them get this big ton of money a month time. $1,000, yeah, because that's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you for your input. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
A pleasure and good morning to my cousin.
Yes, family. What's up?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Once I hear him out, I know you're alive.
Okay, yes.
People, people have a right to ask a question. Whether they want to ask it 26 letters in the alphabet, they have a right to do that. The person who's going to answer, they have a right to stop you. Tell you, listen, that question has been asked 4 or 5 times, and answers has been given, and we have nothing else to say to that. Now, everybody want to ask and talk about what they want to talk about, but nobody must talk about what they want to talk about. That's people's rights. Tony, I'm going to say it now because I ain't hearing because I don't listen to garbage and trash because I don't work with solid waste. My ears are man at the garbage bin. So where I hear garbage has been disputing, I don't go there. Now, Jesus Christ is the only perfect mankind that walk on this earth here. And we know Satan will never give Jesus his kudos. He will never say, well, the Lord, you have done this good and that good. So if they wouldn't give you that, what could man on earth here today expect to hear from people? It's just the devil in people. Now let me talk about the peer. The peer, nothing is wrong with the peer. Don't you just go fishing. You know, when you hear the weatherman talk about it time, they say, well, we could expect 6-foot swells or 3-foot swells. In the seawater, it behaves in 2 ways: high tide and low tide. The only boat can sail between high tide and low tide anywhere except going on a rock. And it could come right in on the sand is a barge, a flat bottom barge. But a deep V-hull ship, it cannot sail between low tide, certain places. Otherwise the hull can touch. And what happened now on the pier, under the pier? The pier was just built for any kind of tide. I mean, not any kind of tide. They built it when the tide was high. So then they look back and realize, well, the size of ships now that will be coming here, they're too big for this kind of water that goes up and come down. So they're going to scrape the bottom, make sure that any ship with any deep hull can come there and dock up without being rubbing on the reef and the bottom of the sand. That is all it takes. And if that was done at the first time, they wouldn't have to go back, they could scrape the bottom. But people see, and they're worried that these big ships are going to come, so they have to prepare for them, whether high tide or low tide. That is the problem out there. So when they're going to spread the propaganda about the pier mash up and the PNIUs and the mash up, it ain't so. They must get the facts before the talk. But anyway, I'm going to listen to Tony. I understand that somebody who believes they could go up and radio and abuse everybody, who do good to them, turn ungrateful to them, and who do bad to them, they abuse them. I understand that they use some verbal threatening language to your name. Well, I want to tell such person, stop it, desist from it, because I ain't gonna let anything happen to you, and I could help you with what I have. All I have to do is call America and get what I have up there and help you. You are my family, and I'm gonna look for you until you go down in the earth. Don't mess with my family. Tony, don't trouble nobody. Tony, don't interfere with nobody, neither verbally, nor practically, nor nothing. So I want you keep from my cousin. Thank you, Tony.
All right. Thank you for your input.
Not doing nothing right.
Good morning. Welcome.
Tony.
Good morning.
So I believe that somebody is the man in question, right? They deliberately ask. Because that question asks over and over in different forums. And I believe that will happen, that they just want to drive a wedge between the Premier and the Prime Minister. But they will never get it work, Tony. And Tony, let me tell you something. For the morning, I done went and I cut the yard. I done went look for my animal then. Right now we are prepared to come in town to really business and do what I got to do. I am not dependent on the government for nothing. Everybody in the country under the whole world under pandemic, and the government cannot do more what they could do. Some people got business places in town, in the home area, just spreading propaganda, talking things, taking out information from people, and before they go in the business place to work, criticizing the government. And I want to say people like the so-called nurse lady, coming in, and because everybody here talks garbage, she just come spit them out. She don't listen nothing, so she said, no, she want to hear this and she want to hear that. She don't understand nothing, Tony. Even she hear the news, she don't even understand what the news is. She got to ask somebody, or somebody got to call and tell her some kind of propaganda, and she propagate it. You understand? That's how they want to get the country, just bring down the country every day. And try to bring down the government, they're trying to help the people. Ignorance. She got grandchildren, she got grandchildren.
Alright, okay.
You understand? And the government is trying to endeavor to do what they got to do. Tony, again, God bless you.
Yeah, let's go to the next caller. Good morning, welcome to Frank and Candid.
Hello, speak to Mr. Nice.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Nice, can I go on?
You're live, go ahead, you're live.
Okay, Mr. Nice, good morning. This is Sonny Boy calling from New York.
Yes.
When I live in St. Thomas, I used to work in the dredge the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
The people in Sinkers, the average people in Sinkers don't understand that when you build anything in the ocean always reclaim the land. They're going to always have to dredge Port Santi. Because in Charlotte de Mare, St. Thomas, they dredge the harbor every once in a while. In San Juan, Puerto Rico, they got to dredge the harbor every once in a while. Ain't nothing wrong with Port Santi. It's just that the ocean reclaimed the land. So the sand gonna always wash in because Sinkers on the bottom of the ocean, the bottom of the sea, have a strong current. and that current bring all that trash and sand back in, and over 10, 15 years they will constantly have to dredge Port Zante. So the people talking about Port Zante is an elephant and all that, that's not true. Those people that build Port Zante know what they're doing. So they're going to have to constantly dredge it because there's nothing wrong with the piers. It's just that the ocean bring the sand back in. And the sand make the bottom shallow. And the ships them get too deep, otherwise the keel will hit the bottom of the ocean. So on this, the government got to land on the safe side to keep the water deep enough that they don't damage no ship and then sink is good reliable to pay for the repair of the ship. They got to constantly dredge Port Zante. They got to do that to keep the sand out because it's going to always come back in. The ocean going to always bring it back in because on the bottom of St. Kitts Ocean, you got a strong current. I used to swim all over St. Kitts Bastille, and I know how strong that current is. And if you're not a good swimmer, you'll drown. So when the people yelling and screaming, Port Zante is safe, very safe. Thank you, Mr. Nice. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
I'm on the air?
You're on the air.
Yes. I am thanking the Prime Minister for what he is doing because he is doing a good job. We used to have things very hard, and from since he get on, we have things 100+% better. And I don't know why people just say all kind of things about the Prime Minister. He's a very nice Prime Minister. And he has the country in good hands. And he's treating us nice. He's a fair Prime Minister. And some of us only talking, we want not know what oil is long. We want everything. We want the front room, the bedroom, every room in us, our house filled with things that we can't go through with. I thanking God for him. God bless him. He's a nice he's a nice Prime Minister. And God is with him because he's a godly man. I'm Silver Buchanan from Mount Titus and the Point. He's a very nice man. He's treating the country good and fair. You had other Prime Ministers, they so full the pocket and all them kind of thing and go here. He's a different Prime Minister to that. That's my little piece.
Okay. Thank you for that piece. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Morning, Mr. Nice.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
I am well.
I listened to some of what the Prime Minister and press conference and the other ministers had to say. A question was posed about the tourism in general and how best he can assist taxi drivers. Other stakeholders also, but a lot of emphasis was placed on the taxi driver. Me, myself, as a taxi person, I applaud his answer, but I want to say that towards what was given when it came to the stimulus, where I filled out the form, I did not see vax or unvax. I think if the Prime Minister would help the taxi drivers, it should not be in terms of who are vaxxed and who are not vaxxed. Because all taxi drivers are feeling the strain. Now, this emanates from discussions on radio programs. And I was very vocal. I always agitate for betterment in terms of the taxi fraternity. And it somewhat emanates from a program Taquity hosted on Voices on a Monday. And persons chiming in on the matter at hand. And so I wish to say to the Prime Minister, he means well, but if you are to look at the taxi drivers, do not just single out the vax and leave out the unvax. If you ought to do anything for them, do it right across the board. Because, case in point, someone who might owe an enormous amount who is vax, and someone who might owe, in terms of saving the taxi buses, a smaller amount and it's unvax. Would you just bail out the vax person and leave the unvax? I think it should be right across the board, just like how the stimulus package was right across the board. Persons went and got the stimulus. And I would prefer to work, but I'm thankful for the stimulus. but I would prefer to work. I like to dialogue. I think I have a lot to share with my guests, the visitors, whether their place of abode might be. I think I have a lot to share, and I love it. And so I just want to, send a little signal out there to the Prime Minister. I know he listens, he knows me, and that do it right across the board. Just don't single out one section and leave the other section out. We are all feeling the strain if you're going to do anything. Thanks for listening.
Okay. All right. We lost that caller. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Mr. Nevis is me again.
Yes.
I'm speaking about my country, and we want a little lightness for the country. And so I'm not bashing nobody. I'm not going down.
Good.
I don't know why the person don't leave me alone. No. I never thought bringing down the government talking about we need help with electricity. A lot of people electricity cut off because he own and cut off. You got to think about your brother, man. And, sorry for them. You can come on and talk about but he just cut to yard. Who get yard cut today? Maybe it's a woman, she can't handle the weed eater. So you must be sorry for people and leave me alone. It's on another radio station I will listen and talk, Nobody have to tell me nothing because I got my sense in my head. And you must leave me alone with his bashing. I'm not struggling with him, I just say that he's repeating every time he go, God bless everybody, God bless the Prime Minister. Well, that. We're talking about our country, where we want to see the country move forward. And not this propaganda about tell this and tell that, where they're coming. So because he giving you a package, you stimulus package and soon up. So what the people are going to get, how much children out there sleeping in darkness? You know how much children going home, sleeping hungry at night? You know that? You know how much people don't have water in the place to bathe their skin? He doesn't say at the one way thing in front of him to blind. You must need to take off his donkey blindness and listen to me and leave me back. Mr. Noyati got a family down there got back close to 12 years. You don't speak about that. 12, going on 13, 14, 15 years, you not speak about that. You have a bar, you go buy and let
Okay, all right. We had enough of that. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning.
It is in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey and Queen Nzinga. And in this period of Minister Malcolm X. Blessed are my beloved African brother. How are you, the family?
All doing well. You?
Good, man, and the clan is good.
All right.
Now, my beloved brother, let me, I'm a very repetitious person. I don't come one shower in and that's it. Got to be continuous. Let me again call on the nasty people over there in the Pan-African Republic of Yemen. Stop dumping things, man. I even hear even worse than what I thought, beloved. But I heard that someone, I don't know if they took up everything, or those abandoned vehicle that they had up the alley there in Chapel Street near to the Anglican Church. So here something was done there. I don't know if everything. I got to check my sources on the weekend. My beloved bud. And to the cleansing people over there, keep up the good job, man. Because, because when I was, before my time, I'm going up as a little boy, man, there was the pride of St. Kitts and Nevis, beloved. But and let me say, again, I don't know, speak out, I don't know. If I know about St. Kitts, beloved. All the nasty people, them, stop it, man. Whether nationals or who wasn't born there, non-nationals. Stop it. Need pride. Return to St. Kitts and Nevis when you come to hell, man. Stop your things in the gutter. You're only poisoning yourselves, your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And you're going to come back around because when things go in the sea and those who eat fishes, all the plastic go in the fish, you're going to go inside your body and then you get cancer, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. So let's keep St. Kitts and Nevis clean to the max. Not just for the tourists, for us, first and foremost. Now, my brother, I see tourists are coming back, returning, because the COVID thing is low and everything. But brother, our people, African people, taxi women and men, they must get their rightful share, not no crumbs. And then other races of people get 99.9 of what is stinging out there. No, man, our people must get their rightful share, at least 95%. But in saying that too, beloved, and I call up on this administration, and the money is not flowing like it used to. Right? We have to have at least one 5-star hotel owned by African peoples in St. Kitts Nevis. A collaboration with the administration and ordinary people like me, you and others, brother. I don't know how much money you have. That's not my business. But you're African who was born in St. Kitts Nevis. And we demand, beloved, well, we can't buy shares. And the government own like 51%. And 49% go to poor people, man, financially poor people. We must do that, and we must control the economy. All aspect of economy must controlled by African people, beloved. Not now, you know what I mean, outside people. When I say outside people, I don't mean African people, so let me get that straight. Interlopers from Europe, North America, Asia. You know, wherever they come from, man. This is our country. We can't go in China and run things. We can't go in Europe and run things. Not even here in North America. I mean, you got a little better chance here in North America as African people to become wealthy. But brothers, we must get things right, man. On this administration, I know they do some great things, some good things, but we are talking about money, dollars and cents. Beloved, we need generational wealth among African people, beloved, not crumbs, man. Tired, sick and tired of this foolishness. We must own and control, not we working for other people, beloved. We ain't got to, I mean, everybody ain't going to own businesses, but we must control most of the major businesses, beloved. And in closing, beloved, let me talk about food security. I know the budget allocation thing is going on, beloved. And I know the crime is not where it used to be, and everybody knows that. I mean, the two things that happened in Nevis the other day, sad, my condolences go to their families. But you know what it used to be, man. I wish none at all took place. But I cannot see, beloved, not $20-something million allocation for agriculture. Mr. Prime Minister and the Cabinet, we need at least $75 million. Even if you got to take $20 million from the National Security Allocation budget, do that, man. Come on. You see what happened, and things going to get worse, you know. Because, which, beloved, things gonna get worse. I went to Costco about 2 weeks ago, couldn't get no toilet paper, beloved. So things gonna get worse. My people, plant what you have to plant. Secure your food, beloved sisters and brothers. So brother, have a great weekend and the entire federation, and especially my people over there in North Constituency 6. But do the right thing. Pan-Africanism our purpose. One love, my beloved brother.
All right. We're going back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, caller. Are you live? Good morning.
Yes, greetings.
Greetings.
Okay, let me see now where we start. Okay, October month. So we want to big up all the October picnic them. Yes. More life. And we celebrate today. Yes. More life, priceless blessings, you know. Yeah, land of the living. Okay, we hear the word environment mentioned in your intro. And we heard the word
solid waste mentioned somewhere along the line with your callers. So it brings up our memo towards the nastiness that is around and about us, you know? We can't stop echoing because we don't love it. And we know there's other people who don't love it neither because everybody is nasty, you see it? There's clean people. Well, let me big up all the clean people there. So, we want to say that it is time that we put zero tolerance towards littering. Sorry, I'm going to say littering, you know. We're not just talking about a whole fridge and a whole... The saying said, small trash, blind eye. So we are talking about littering in its smallest form, sweetie paper. Yeah. Zero tolerance towards littering, take it serious. We can't just continue cleaning. And money can make. As the government, the present administration, implement policies and pick up money from the nasty people them until them turn clean. We put them in jail to what? Until them turn clean. If they don't, they just stay there. Because them is not tinder, and them is not roach, and others who have mental problem. And even people with mental problem, you see them are clean. You just see some people who just say mad. They are pull up bush, them are this, them are that. People say they're mad. So, we need to react together. Because the nastiness cannot work. It's a good thing, mass wearing on. So I'm not glad to be walking in certain places and can pull up a mask and nobody can say me a rat, nobody. Because the scent, the stench, and people go by them places, they are numb. So we know, say, apart from the owners of them establishment, we know the people who patronize them nasty too. And they bring us to a point. When we see litter, like a KFC boxes, when we just say about, the establishment of those places, the owners must be on them to clean the garbage in the street or pay fines. We just talk about KFC, but we mean all of them, you know. All of them. Even them people who create, no, we have to take this thing as serious. And the way we now take it serious is show me say that the wrong faces is the right places when it comes to this matter. Yeah, definitely so. Because we can. Sure. Blessed love. Thanks for the time.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I don't know how you're going to do that, but it's a thought. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Nass.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, the press conference, the Prime Minister's press conference.
Yes.
You know, this MSR media thing, I consider nothing short of a coup by the Prime Minister intended to shore up, I think, the Minister of Health, who has been under fire recently. You know, I think it was also a coup against the Premier of Nevis and the Visions. I mean, if you saw the press conference, you couldn't help but notice the smugness and the smile, as he said in response to the question, that it is not competition, but complementary, and that the people were going to Barbados or the Dominican Republic, and so at least they stay in the Federation, and the Visions can come over to St. Kitts and get jobs still. You know, we kind of repeat the Premier's favorite line that development in St. Kitts is development in Nevis. It's a nice sounding cliche, but I don't think it means much to people who are unemployed in Nevis. Okay? And, you know, the one thing that the Premier, I think, was able to attract, the one new industry, and it was snatched from under his nose. I mean, they could have left the base in Nevis to aid the Nevision economy and still film in St. Kitts. And then to add insult to injury, the Prime Minister shout across the channel, we send, say, $260 million in assistance, okay? And ignored the question as to how much was collected by the CBI during the corresponding period. That's why the question keeps coming up about fair share. You want to tell me, I am sure everybody knows that the Prime Minister knows exactly how much was collected overall by the CBI. But he gives all kinds of spurious reasons why we should not know. The public, whether in St. Kitts or Nevis, should not know that figure. But it's our business. Don't sit there and talk as if it's not our business. Okay? And, you know, I found actually the Prime Minister was very disrespectful. To me, it seems like he wants to keep Nevis barefoot and dependent on them. All right? And what I noticed too, the Prime Minister preempted the question about hush puppy, saying there is no scandal there, you know? And then when he invited the Chief of Police, the Commissioner of Police to speak on the issue, he says that the investigation is ongoing and progressing well, and I think it is the DPP who is now becoming involved. You know, that seems such a contradiction, right? And then there was the announcement about cruise tourism being on the way up, which was good, but then there was a simultaneous announcement that stay-over visitors did not look encouraging, and that's bad. And so, you know, in the midst of all this, you know, we have the Premier of Nevis, who just seems like he couldn't be bothered, traveling somewhere instead of trying to pick up Nevisian tourism, right? And, you know, I found it interesting too that the Prime Minister brought up clause 1110, which speaks to the revenue allocation between St. Kitts and Nevis, with Vance Amory sitting right there in front of him. 110. Right? And he was the one who scuttled that part of the Constitution. So overall, you know, I think that the press conference, revealing in some aspects, but very disappointing in terms of relations between St. Kitts and Nevis and what it showed about the dysfunction in the government operations. Okay then.
Wow, that's a whole lot there, a whole mouthful there. But you know, all of that took me back, way back to the question of CBI and how much is in it. I remember those questions coming up many years ago. But hey, there you go. We got a caller. Let's take the caller. Good morning, welcome.
Morning, Mr. Nayos.
Yes.
You listened to the press conference yesterday?
Some of it I did.
Well, on Mr. Jupan program, they used to get up a Sugar City Rock, right? Call Mark Brantley one time on the program. I think it's a Wednesday program. And tell Mr. Mark Brantley that he understands up to now he don't get his fair share, the right money. Mr. Mark Brantley told him and so that Sinky was 3 times bigger than Sinky. And he ain't looking for share, but he must still ain't reach what he's supposed to reach. Well, I want to know why he's supposed to reach. Why is enough? Now, on 95, on the channel 95, I am lying down sometime this week, and he had a press conference too. And I hear him say that is not fair share. Mine, over there before, never give him nothing, was a lend to everything in Nevis. Up to them when Canvis father was in the bank when they bounce check. Now we not get nothing. So if you get something, you not better nothing at all. We don't understand these people here. Now these people here who went to college, teacher, doctor, lawyer, magistrate and all them there. When people look up to them, they will lead them. Them they not lead them. Them are corrupt things. Them that corrupt things when them attack so.
Okay.
That them do with the people them. You can't put no trust in them. That's why they never fool me, you know. We never reach high school. But when them that talk, because your country they can say straight line.
Okay, don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you.
That you do, your country they can say straight line.
Okay.
Because People always pay people up there. We pay people up there. And how much money Prime Minister say he don't put in his hands up there? And he knows to get any kind of money there.
Alright, don't let them fool you at all. Don't let them sell you either, right? We'll take our final caller. Good morning. Caller, you there?
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Prime Minister.
That's not me yet. Not yet.
Yes, waiting a long time to get in.
I'm working on it.
I'm looking at your face. You're looking nice.
Okay, good.
Yes. I am congratulating you for the work you are doing. Don't worry with these liars and pretenders, because they are benefiting from it. Right? But they want to play party politics. Right? We are glad that you are the Prime Minister. Keep your head up high. And don't look back. Don't worry with them. That's my call, my piece.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, folks, time has come to put a wrap on today's program. Thank you all for your calls. It's a good-looking Friday out there. Thank you all for your contributions. And that's going to do it for us today, for today's program, and for this week's program. And for me, that's going to do it for me overall. You know, I always say that life is kind of like a book, and with pages and chapters. And in the books, there are some, well, when it comes to books, there are some good books. And inside those books, there are some good chapters and some not so good chapters. There are some chapters that have an impact that lasts a little bit longer than others. Indeed, some may last a lifetime. I am not sure just yet what is in store for me in the next page that I turn, but I am certainly grateful for the blessings and the experiences of the chapter that I will close today. I have been associated with ZIZ since 1981. Joined ZIZ. I've been in, out of ZIZ all the way up until now. That's 40 years of association with ZIZ. I always consider ZIZ family. And over the last several months on this program, I've made an effort here to raise the level of our discourse through the introduction of topics that I thought would inform, educate, and elevate our consciousness. It is my hope that I have succeeded in some small way. During my time here on Frank and Candid, many of you who have called me or approached me, given me ideas, made comments, suggested topics for discussion, and expressed your support. Of course, there have been those who disagree with me on different issues. All I am grateful for all, as it has been useful to my own growth. My time as host of this program has been marked by some high points, and of course there were some low points. However, please know that it was never my intention to allow the discourse to ever go low. To the extent that that was allowed to happen, I take full responsibility and I apologize for dropping the ball in those occasions. When I leave today, I will be heading off in a different direction, not really sure of the ultimate destination. And what I do believe is that somehow, somewhere, our paths will cross again. Next week, someone will be occupying this space. I encourage you to continue to support this program, whomever sit in this chair. So I want to take this opportunity to say a heartfelt thank you for being a wonderful and supportive audience. I know time is precious, so I want to thank you for sharing some of your time with me, and I am grateful for all that you have taught me. I thank you for being as much of an inspiration for me as I've tried to be for you. Thanks to ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation for giving me the opportunity. And I am told that I should never say never. Therefore today, I won't say goodbye, I'll just say, so long, and may the spirit of the ancestors continue to guide our path. I'm Tony Nias. Thanks for having me. So long.
It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, one people. We are roll up to roll up. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.